Since 1920, cruise collections have held a privileged place in the annual fashion calendar. Tailored to the demands of well-heeled holidaymakers, cruise collections allow labels to follow the money in the summer months. The last few years have seen the popularity of these collections skyrocket. It's big business for the likes of Chanel, Louis Vuitton and Christian Dior. But in order to get those high-end customers to part with their money, the big fashion houses know they first need to invest. At the heart of the exclusive Avenue Montaigne in Paris, Christian Dior's ready-to-wear workshop. In the weeks leading up to the collection's grand reveal, a dedicated team works round the clock to turn creative director Raf Simons' vision into reality. Cruise collections need to have a wider appeal and longer shelf life than labels' ready-to-wear and couture offerings. That's because they're available to buy at sales points across the world from May through to November. Dior's collections showing on the Côte d'Azur at Pierre Cardin's Palais Bulle.
At Dior, they always choose places that you don't expect at all. With this sort of decor, I'm made to wonder what the thought behind it was.
For Raf Simons, the show's backdrop is an integral part of the collection.
There was a very kind of like high luxury clientele coming here. That were in high luxury environments, but at the same time also in this brute nature. And that is kind of the main idea behind the collection. Besides that, I was very inspired to see how I can bring landscape, seascape, and skyscape in relation to the work from the point of view that nature has always been so inspiring and so important in the work of Christian Dior and myself. I think that we were working a lot on abstraction in relation to architecture, but in a new way.
It's not hard to see how the Palais Bulle's spherical design and Simons' curvaceous silhouettes complement one another.
Collection after collection, he pushes that architectural side of his work. That's where there are some really magnificent pieces. There are dresses that make you think of kinetic art. It's wonderful.
There's also a nod to the wardrobes of the artists who made their names in the south of France.
I'm very flattered that the House of Dior has returned to Pierre Cardin, because I was, after all, the first at Dior.
From 1946, Pierre Cardin worked alongside Christian Dior for 3 years. Architecture is also a central theme at Chanel's cruise collection, revealed in Seoul in the neo-futurist Dongdaemun Design Plaza by Zaha Hadid.
Sometimes it's almost like sour candy. It's really colorful. It's like these lights around us, all these different colors. And yet it's still Chanel. It's quite extraordinary.
Seoul might not be an obvious choice for Europeans, but it's one of the most lucrative fashion hubs of the Asian market. Chanel has 9 boutiques in South Korea.
Looking around us tonight, I think that modernity is about reinterpreting something that's anchored in contemporary culture. Things like, for example, Korean pop culture, K-pop.
In Korea, fashion and pop go hand in hand. Boy band Big Bang have front row seats.
It was wonderful. There were looks inspired by traditional Korean dress. Really wonderful stuff. The outfits were funky, and the music created an excellent atmosphere. I really adored the show. We're Korean, and we're also inspired by traditional dress. So to discover that Karl Lagerfeld in Paris also takes an inspiration from Korea, well, it's funny. I'm really happy about it.
Karl Lagerfeld seeks to fuse the modern with the traditional, inspired by the countries in which he reveals his work.
I always liked the idea of what traditional Korean things were. One of my main help at Chanel is a Korean girl who makes all the material. So she has many Korean friends, all the pop singers, they all come to visit us. I like the Korean roots, but they had to be adapted to the world of today. And what I can use for a kind of fashion like Chanel, what exists all over the world. A modern version of pop art scene, the way I think Korean people would interpreted. Korean collection inspired by the past and the tradition of Korea in a modern way I have never seen.
Many of the fabrics used in the show are woven from Korean linen. They're all hand-picked by Kim Yong-seung, Chanel's head of fabric for 25 years.
He seems to have been able to distill 5,000 years of Korean culture in 7.5 minutes. He just manages to do it. How he does it, I have no idea.
Architecture was also centre stage at Louis Vuitton's 2016 Croisière collection, showing at the Palm Springs home of actor Bob Hope, an impressive building on the market at $25 million. As for the clothes, contrast was the unifying theme, this time between Gothic and elegant. These collections may only be available to the lucky few, but the fashion world would be a poorer place without them.